Welcome to the Brazen Drum. My name is Ty Forquer. This is my new video blog project. I'm going to be discussing mostly new music and art and things going on in the Greater Lansing area. I really wish I could give a better introduction to this project, but there's a lot that I want to fit in today. So we're going to save that for another time and kind of jump right into it. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of this. I can be reached on Gmail, I'm on Twitter. You can also leave comments on the YouTube page. But I'm really excited today. We're going to be presenting a piece by Matt Schoendorff. Matt is a friend of mine and a recent graduate of the DMA program in music composition at Michigan State University. And earlier this week, the MSU Wind Symphony premiered his dissertation piece, which is a piece for wind band based on the standard model of particle physics, which is just as nerdy as it sounds, but it's really a cool project. It's a great piece. And I got to go and hang out at the dress rehearsal, get some video. I got to talk to Matt. We talked about things like pop music, talked about his piece, talked about why he was interested in particle physics. And I think it turned out really well. So with no further ado, we're going to get right into it.
Well, theoretical physics, it's something that I kind of have an amateur interest in, partly because my brother is in physical chemistry. He's working on his PhD right now at the University of Iowa. He works at the Ames laboratory out there for the Department of Energy, and I talk with him a lot, and he and I are kind of, we're two sides of the same coin. Either one of us could have gone into music or science or the sciences, and he happened to go into the sciences and I happened to go into music, but he still plays trumpet and listens to music, and I have this interest in theoretical physics and the sciences. So the standard model ends up being organized a lot like a subatomic version of the periodic table in chemistry. You've got your set of quarks and your set of leptons, your set of force-carrying bosons, and they all have certain characteristics and they all have relationships with each other. And I thought, well, I could bring out a lot of that stuff using thematic techniques, orchestration techniques, a lot of the relationships they have with one another. And after about a year of research and then another year of writing, this piece came out. So that's the nutshell background of the piece, I guess. One of the things that really distressed me, the further I got down the rabbit hole into art music, was that there was this big disconnect, or this seeming disconnect, between art music and popular music, and I wasn't sure why this was. You could blame it on a number of things, from everything from the alienation of styles in the 20th century to, I don't know, take your pick, whatever. But it just seemed to me that this disconnect didn't really have to be there. That a lot of things that were happening in the art music realm were showing up in the pop world. You've got composers like Messiaen and a whole ton of 20th century composers influencing bands like Radiohead and Nine Inch Nails and all these other great groups. And I thought, well, why can't that go the other way? Because you talk to any modern composer today, and 9 times out of 10, they're listening to a lot of these modern popular bands. They're listening to Nine Inch Nails, they're listening to Radiohead, they're listening to, take your pick. And since I happen to fall in that category, that's what I listen to as well. I thought, well, I'm going to try to incorporate a lot of those influences as well. So the first movement starts with representation of creation and the Big Bang. This is when all the particles were created. And then we go into the quarks and their relationship to one another, how each pair of quarks, up, down, then goes into charm and strange, which is a little bit heavier, and then finally truth and beauty, or top and bottom, which is the heaviest yet. Second movement, the leptons are basically they are the particles that don't interact with the nucleon of particles. They, rather than the nuclear forces at work that bind the quarks, these are the particles that are influenced by electromagnetism, the electromagnetic force. The most common one being the electron. Well, the electron has two heavier versions, the muon and then the tau. So again, like in the quarks, where each section got a little bit heavier and more broadly orchestrated and bigger and louder, that's basically what I did with the leptons. The final movement, the force-carrying bosons, those are the particles that allow the quarks and the leptons to interact and do what they do. Every time there's an interaction, there is a boson at work that is carrying the force that allows those particles to do what they do. So the photon is the carrier of the electromagnetic force, and it moves, well, by definition, at the speed of light. Nothing can move faster than the photon. So, according to Einstein, the faster or the closer one approaches the speed of light, the more the surroundings seem to slow down. It's the whole theory of relativity. So I thought, well, the music for this, I want it to be from the point of view of the photon. So from the point of view of the photon, the universe is not doing anything. It is completely stationary, and so the music, it just kind of sits there and pulses. It's very much like a lot of electronic effects that you would find in a lot of popular groups like Radiohead or Nine Inch Nails. And then there is the Higgs boson. Hasn't been discovered. It might hold the key to why we have particles in the first place, why particles have mass, all that kind of stuff. Because that's nicknamed the God particle. Well, rather than trying to characterize the Higgs boson, I took its nickname, the God particle. And I thought, well, I started this piece with the Big Bang and creation. I'll end it with the God particle and be a little bit of maybe some religious mysticism to the piece. So